Derek Johnson here, the voice of Baker Athletics for women's soccer, men's soccer. We'll have that preview coming up in a little bit. We've also got volleyball coming up, but now we're joined by the second-year women's soccer head coach, Mark Sheldon, with me here. And this is your second year. Last year you came on in August, so I can only imagine how difficult that was in kind of acclimating with the team that early on. Now you get a full year under your belt, heading into year two. Do you feel more comfortable heading into year two?
Yeah, for sure. So I think the biggest thing is I had time now to have a spring with them season as well, and work with them, and then carry over things that we want to do here in the fall, and it's not such a stretch, right? It's not just something, everything's new, but you did a lot of the preparation work and training in the spring, and the players have kind of, I think, remembered already. It's noticeable even into day two that the things we did in the spring have left an imprint for the way we want to play here in the fall.
And last year, it was a bit of a slow start in the non-conference. You played a really tough schedule, which I'm sure added to coming in late. But then in Heart Play, your team kind of flourished and things got going a little bit. What changed over the course of the season?
I think it's just a matter of time, right? It takes time to, as we talk about this fall, takes time for us to evolve into who we want to be, right? And how we want to play, and so it's just it took a little bit of time to get everything, kind of, thrown into the fire, right? And they had to kind of learn as they went. But then once the conference started and we had 4, 5, 6 games, then I think they kind of understood what we wanted to do. And I think this fall it's even going to be better for us because, like I said, we've had now a couple seasons in time to do that together. So.
You're going to have a new goalie you're working in there. Rachel Hunt was really good for you guys in between the posts. How's that position looking as we head into 2018?
Oh, I think it's strong. I think Izzy DePinto is our sophomore goalkeeper. She was actually very good last year. But behind a senior and somewhat of the caliber of Rachel was, it's hard to get her in. But now it's kind of her spot, I think, to own, and she will. So.
And you also lose a couple big-time players as outfielders in Megan Johnson and Katie Dieringer as well, who Johnson leading you guys in goals. I believe Dieringer led you guys in assists. How do you go about replacing players of that caliber?
Well, I think we brought in some players that can help as well for this class, but I think it's going to be a total team effort, and I think that's something that this group and team has really embraced, right, and become more of a team-oriented in terms of trying to reach our goals and with production, right? So it's going to take all of us to get goals and the stats that I think we want.
And so this question probably can be answered in a similar way, but is there anyone you highlight as being somebody that you need to be a true goal scorer or kind of facilitate the offense that you need to step up and kind of taking over for Johnson or Dieringer?
Well, I think the players that can kind of replace and fill in those shoes. You got a senior, Sierra McKinney, who's going to be up top for us, and then you got another senior, Hallie Hurtig, who will play one of the wing attackers, and then Jenna Latimer, who as a freshman was a leading goal scorer. We want her to come back and get to that level again of scoring double-digit goals and so forth. And with the addition of the new players, there's a freshman in there. I think that's going to be 4 players that kind of carry the load for us.
And what about on the defensive end? We talked about the goalies, but what about the players in front of them? How's the back line coming together?
Good. I think we were able to get both a mix of experience along with some new players into that back line, and we're going to have a pretty solid, I think, defensive block for the season.
Is that position really more than any other position? Is that reliant on chemistry and everybody working together and knowing exactly their roles?
Yeah, and I mean that's what we're working on obviously in preseason, and we will throughout the season. But also I think it's one of those where we have talented players, playing those positions. So they kind of individually know, I think, and have played at high levels to where they know what they should do. And obviously, as they kind of start communicating, organizing, working together, then they can almost like read each other and what they should be doing and their teammates are doing. So that's going to only get better. But I think already it's a pretty strong backline.
In terms of a formation that you're going to run, is that something that you go into a season with a plan that you want to run this formation throughout, or is that something that you're kind of adjusting throughout the season based on matchup and who's in form, who's playing?
I think we have a system or a formation that we want to play out of, and it's just a matter of just maybe moving a player higher or lower depending on who we play, but we have a system and formation that we're going to play out of, and I think that's something that with over time, getting to know our players and what we're capable of doing and what we're good at, our strengths. This is probably the system I think that everybody is going to be the most familiar and or comfortable with.
So the regular season schedule starts up on August 25th. That's the non-conference against University of St. Mary. You're going to have 5 games in about a 2-week stretch, which I'm sure will be a challenge in itself. So what are the challenges and the pros and cons of your non-conference schedule?
Well, so I think we don't have the top 25 strength of schedule against the non-conference, but we still have Hastings and so forth that are going to be in the top 25, but we also have mixed it up a little bit to give us a little look at the strengths we have, but also then some of the weaknesses against the good teams, and that will get exploited, and that'll help us as we go into the conference, because we start off against 2 pretty tough conference foes.
And transitioning right into Heart of America Athletic Conference play, what are the challenges for you in such a tough conference?
I think it's just a matter of consistency, game in, game out. It doesn't matter where any of the teams are in the standings, because in our conference, the toughest one in America, any given day, literally, a team, can beat each other up, right? So, it's a survival of the fittest at this point for the Heart, and we just want to start off, strong and against 2 of the top teams in the conference.
All right, well, I'll leave you with this. If you want to, whatever your team goals are, if you want to achieve those goals, what are the most important factors going into that for you to reach that level?
Oh, I think it's just, you got to have a little bit of any successful season and a run at like a championship of sorts, right? Trophies. I think you have to have a little bit of luck in terms of maybe the draws and things like that, but really it comes down to staying healthy, having the players give effort and work hard every day, every game, and then just doing it consistently.
All right, he's Mark Sheldon, second-year head coach of the Baker women's soccer team. You can catch their first game August 25th. They're taking on University of St. Mary. You can catch all the home games online. So for Mark Sheldon, I'm Derek Johnson.